give you this story now, and it is a developing one. Officials from the City Power utility, this is here in Gauteng, Johannesburg to be exact, alongside the government officials are visiting substations in Johannesburg. Newzroom Afrika's Ahmed Kajee is following that story for us, and he joins us live now. Ahmed, good morning to you. So, place us for us exactly where you are and what you have observed thus far.
Thank you very much, Koli. We had arrived here at the Fordsburg substation in the center of Johannesburg. Earlier today, the City Power officials and officials from the Gauteng government were out in Roodepoort in the West Rand to carry out more oversight inspections and just to give a site visit to many of the stakeholders who are present over here. And we will be finalizing this particular site visit over in Durban Street in the Johannesburg CBD at the Kajee substation as well. But we had heard a briefing from Gauteng MEC of Finance, Jacob Mamabolo. He'll be joining me in a few moments' time. But from what we have gathered so far is more resources and more finance will be invested into the City Power infrastructure maintenance and infrastructure renewal. We had experienced for the residents of Johannesburg variation in the schedule of load shedding as City Power took over the scheduling of the rolling power cuts, and there had been those inconsistencies due to the grid changes, and City Power in recent weeks said that they will be looking to change that and ensure that in some way or form the load shedding that is experienced in the city of Johannesburg will be reduced, and in an ideal world for them would be completely eradicated as well. But I'm going to bring into the conversation, as I mentioned, the MEC for Finance in Gauteng Province, Mr. Jacob Mamabolo. MEC, thanks very much for your time today to speak about finance being invested into the infrastructure maintenance. What is your perhaps your assessment of the City Power infrastructure that you have seen so far?
Good morning to all the viewers. Well, I'm with my MEC here, with my colleague MEC Mzikumalo. What is clear to us is City Power does have the technology, the capacity to meet our requirements as stated in the Memorandum of Understanding, and the money that we will be spending as we announced on Tuesday to make sure that we relieve the province of the challenge of load shedding. And obviously, having appointed City Power, our interest is still across the province. So the power that they can generate, whilst of course we have appointed an entity in the city of Joburg, but we want that to be willed and be distributed across the province. And from what the briefing they have given to us, we are very much pleased with what we are seeing, the information we are gathering, the facts, which is very critical for us as the people who have appointed City Power to get that level of assurance that will get value for money, and that at the end, the people will get relief. We are looking at timelines of about, the way they have explained it to us here, almost 1 year and few months for them to be able to make a huge impact on relieving the people of the province of the challenge of load shedding. We have already announced during the budget that we're also going to appoint transaction advisor specialists so that what we are seeing and hearing can be confirmed by an independent specialist so that the timelines that we are working on can be met. So already they are saying in April they can bring in about 50 megawatts integrated into the grid, and of course we'll work on a plan that goes to about a year or so. So in that regard, we are very much pleased with what we're seeing. We have no reason to doubt. We think we will get value for money, and we can say to the people of the province that let's give City Power the opportunity to see if they can meet the very first critical timeline of around mid-April. That is very much important to us. And obviously, if we see this is working, and you can clearly see the technology is here. We're not talking about something that must still be procured somewhere or be built. It's right here. They just need to do, to change the look and feel, bring, add to the control room some of the technical aspects. But if we can see this 50 megawatts as a first step in 6 months, this will be a huge game changer. This will be a huge turnaround, which will then say to, we've got market expectations, investors' expectations, the people's expectations, all the key players with that 50 megawatts, they can be able to see that City Power has delivered its commitments to the province, and we will have no reason to doubt that a year so they will be able to bring great relief. They are saying they can make sure that the province is, relieved of the pressure of load shedding completely. But I would still say, we will get there will be a huge positive impact.
MEC, sorry to interject, just speaking towards the finances which will be made available to City Power, that obviously comes from your portfolio directly. What exactly will be the funding made available to City Power for these improvements?
You might recall that when we announced the budget on the 9th of March this year, the main budget, we announced that we're setting aside 1.2 billion to be able to finance and fund different solutions that will help us. Now, as part of that, on Tuesday, we adjusted the budget of the Department of govt, led by MEC Khumalo, with about 440 million, which is the first allocation to the department, so that then in 6 months or so, we can see the first deliverable. So we have adjusted the department of the budget of govt, which is which represent the client, which is GPG, to work with City Power. So we have allocated that, but the total money we set aside in the main budget in March was about 1.2 billion. Of course, we also, as we have announced, looking at off-grid solutions like the Department of Infrastructure Development. We have also made an allocation there. So, but as a province, I must say, and without raising expectations, if we see that this is working, really, it will be easier to motivate to the provincial government to say, if there's a need for more money, let us make some further adjustments, because the loss to the economy of load shedding, its impact on the economy is 10 times bigger, than the amount of money we can spend. So we want to see results. We want the people to say, yes, this has been delivered, we are seeing it, and then we work on timelines. So, but for now, we have set aside 1.2 billion. We are giving 400 million plus to start, and we will still make further adjustments. But for now, let's focus on the adjusted amount that we have given to the Department of govt.
MEC, thanks very much for your time. It's greatly appreciated. There you have it, fully coming through from the MEC Cheko Mamabolo for Finance, just explaining to us that the budget policy has been amended, as you would have seen earlier in the week, to ensure more financial resources are allocated to City Power to just ensure that the levels of load shedding in the city will be reduced, and obviously speaking towards that across the province, and if that happens to go forward, potentially across the country as well. Fully.
Ahmed Kajee, thank you very much. Live for us there in Joburg, as the Gauteng government officials alongside city officials are going around looking at the various substations. You will know the complaints that have stemmed from that since City Power, that's the utility that provides electricity for Johannesburg residents, it took over the load shedding schedules from Eskom, and so there's been a number of complaints since then.